Semano, Semano. Yeah, I'm just saying hello in my language. It is Mongolian. And let's start discover Mongolia. Welcome back, guys. My name is Orunbayr. You can call me Oka or Orna. I know it's a little bit hard name, so just note Orna or Oka. Yeah, just should be fine with you. And what do you know about Mongolia? Like, maybe you heard about the Who band, which is the rock in the world right at the time, or the Genghis Khan, the angry guy, or the country of the blue sky. Yeah, I'm sure you heard somehow about Mongolia. Yes, which is good. And today we talk about the 5 things about Mongolia, which is all the basics: the landscape, people, cities and town, and economic and education. Mongolia will located in Central Asia and the bordering with Russia and Chinese. And in the world map you can see it's almost close to Turkey, but unfortunately we don't have a border with them, which is remind me this picture all the time. Yes, we are located right between the two big countries. That's why some people call it like a sandwich. Even though we look like a sandwich between the two big countries, but still we are quite big country. In the world we are the 18th biggest country, and with the 1.566 kilometers square. Let's say if you're from Germany, you can put your country inside Mongolia like 4 times, which is not so bad sandwich, right? Mongolia we have a 4 season, and average temperature in the summer is 22 Celsius. In the winter, totally opposite, and also it depends on which area you are, but average is minus 22 to 24. The Mongolian average elevation level is 1,580 meters above the sea level. The lowest point is 5,076 and highest is 4,376 meters, all above the sea level. In West Mongolia we have Mongolian highest mountain. About all the landscapes we have the big mountains and big lakes and small rivers. And Mongolian highest mountain located there at Altai-Toppenburg National Park, and the highest one we call the Huiteng, which is over the sea level, 4,370 meters tall. In the west one of the our ethnic groups live there, which is already known as the eagle hunters, which is people use the eagle to hunt animals, and also they are one of our small ethnic group. But there's a second biggest group, which is they consider as 5% of the whole population. In the northern area, it's mostly like a forest. We have lots of trees over there, and there's the one lake we call the Husul. It's considered as a world 2% of the freshwater resource. The lake 130 kilometers long and 80 kilometers wide. The nearby lake, Mongolian smallest ethnic group live there, which is Tatan, the reindeer family. They raise the reindeers for their living and live in the mountains with the Urgen. The south part of the Mongolia is mostly dry and Gobi area. In Asia's biggest sand dune located in Mongolia, we call the Hungarian, which is 100 km long, around 12 km wide and 300 meters tall, but it's always a little bit changing because of the wind. The Mongolian Gobi area, already known as the mining area, and dinosaur bone and eggs part is possible to find. Still, people find it over there. And one of my hobbies is drinking beer with the dinosaur bones and chill, something like this. By the way, that was fake. Please don't imagine in the South Gobi it's always full of sand. No, there's also cool places you can walk and like chill out there, which is Tarasov and Ice Canyon, and yeah, Bainzak, there's plenty more. Let's jump to the Central Mongolia, which is my hometown. From there, which is tiny little somewhere in the Central Mongolia. Yeah, in Central Mongolia we have quite mixed area, and there we have semi-Gobi, rivers, mountains and trees and lakes too. First of all, Mongolian longest river is located in Central Mongolia, most of the part, which is called the Orkhon, and it's 1,120 kilometers long. And also nearby that there's a 22-meter waterfall we called Orkhon Waterfall. In Central Mongolia, one of the biggest tourist attractions located there, which is our old capital city, Kharharam. In the 13th century it was our capital city, and now it's an Erzincan monastery. Still lots of people go there. Now let's talk about Mongolian cities and town. The Mongolian capital city we call the Ulaanbaatar. If you translate the name to English, it's gonna be a red hero. And the Ulaanbaatar city established in 1639. At the time we used to call it Ikhure. Over the years we changed the name basically after the Soviet Union. And Ulaanbaatar city used to look like an old Russian town, but still we changed it a lot. Because the first place the Russians helped us to build our city a lot. Now in Ulaanbaatar we have a 1.5 million population. It's quite funny number because it's a half of the population. We have such a big land, but half of them is stuck in the same place. The Ulaanbaatar city has 9 districts, 2 of them is a little bit isolated from the rest of the 7. And maybe you heard about the world coldest capital city? Yes we are. Or one of the polluted in city? Yes we are. Goes in Ulaanbaatar and 70% of the people live in the Gir district, which is people don't have any central supplement, which is they have to make a fire with the coal. Yep, that's one of the reasons. So after the Ulaanbaatar we have 21 big provinces all around Mongolia. Plus we divided also small towns, which is we call the Som. In Mongolia about 330 small towns. In the town about 10 to 15,000 people would live over there. In this all small village have own hospital, school and police and all the government services. Now we're going to talk something a little bit different, which is it's really deep with not back pocket, wallet. Yeah, that was hard. Before we get started, let's see what I got in my wallet. Come on man, come on. Yeah, I think that's all. So this is a 5,000 tuguruk. It's not so high, not so low. It's about cost $2 US dollars, of course. And in front you can see Chinggis, and everyone knows him. That's why we put it. Of course, he's a great guy. And this is the lowest you can see. It's a 10 tuguruk, but it's still possible to find 1 tuguruk, 2 tuguruk. This is the smallest one you can receive from your exchange for grocery wherever. And in front you can see a guy who has a hat. That's his squatter. He was an army person in the beginning of the 90s. He was the person who kicked up the Chinese from Mongolia. He's one of our national hero. Even we used to call the main square and the squatter square by his name. But a few years ago, Mongolian government wanted to change the name to Chinggis Khan, and every Mongolian thought it's just stupid because everyone has become a Chinggis. For example, Chinggis Khan Square, Chinggis Khan Airport, Chinggis Khan, even vodka, you know. Everyone thought it's just stupid. As long as we talk about financial and money, we need to be clear, right? So in 2020, Mongolian domestic product is in $3.20 billion. I know, yes, it's a low. The Mongolian government, the revenue or budget, is like money collected from the taxes, which just come up from 3 main sectors, which is mining, agriculture, and tourism. The biggest one is mining, and we have coal, copper, coal, plenty much everything, almost everything to mine. The biggest usually stay nearby in Mongolian Gobi. Also, one of the biggest one is stay in the north. In the Earthland, it's one of the biggest industry in Mongolia. Second one is agriculture, and maybe one come up with like planting fruit and berries, potatoes, selling, import, export. No, we don't work like that in Mongolia. We have lots of animals. We have in 2020 we got like 60 or 70 billion animals, which is goats, sheep, and camels. They raise it by the nomadic lifestyle, which is old way to do. Have you ever heard about the news? The Mongolian president donated 30,000 sheep to China in 2020. I don't know how much it's costing your country to ship, but think about Mongolia. It's a little bit different story. Mongolia have 30 million sheep. Yeah, it's a little bit more, and it's cost about 180,000 to, which is about $78. In Mongolia, sheep is cheap, so good thing is to donate for them, because international it's expensive, and he got good moves and smart guy, you know. Also, you wonder how to make money with all these animals, so it's a little bit simple. We sell for the cashmeres and meats and bones and skins, like plenty much. Mostly to the China, it's the biggest market over there for us. The third biggest industry is tourism, but unfortunately 2020 we don't receive any single tourist, and in this sector about 100,000 people lost their job, including me. But in 2019, 2018, on average about we receive in per year 500,000 tourists. Because of the no tourism, no foreign currency exchange, our inflation is just goes up. It's just crazy. I received this question so many times from so many people, which is how much is the living cost in Mongolia? It's quite okay, I guess, but if you have a dollar or euros, it should be fine with you. And Mongolian average salary about 800,000 Tugruk to 1.200,000 million Tugruk, which is around 300 to about 400 and to 600 USD per month. But it's Mongolia, it totally depends on what you do. In Mongolian, minimum wage is about 200 USD per month. I know it's very low. In average restaurant you can buy a lunch about $3, maybe 4, and of course it depends on where you go. In Mongolia, rent is quite complicated because we don't have any government thing, but we try to make it. But yeah, how it's work is someone has an extra apartment or just go for travel loan and they just rent for people. It's cost about 200 USD per month, but it depends on how big apartment is it. This is guys, almost we made it. This is the last part of this video, which is we talk about education in Mongolia, education systems, also how it's work. As I told you, all the small village and all the big towns, they have a government elementary and high schools every part of Mongolia, which everyone is free to go there. It depends on which ethnic group you are, where you're from. It doesn't matter. You can go there free. But when you graduate, you're in a high school and you have a choice to go to college or university. It doesn't matter. It's up to them choice. But university cost, when I was in university, I cost about a year. $1,000 is one full year. Some of them is pretty expensive. It's cost about 3,000 USD per semester, and some of them is higher, but usually people pay for $1,000 and a little bit more. In 2018, Mongolian adult literacy was 98%. This is it, we made it for today, and thank you very much for watching my videos. As I told you always, if you have any question about Mongolia, just comment below and consider as a subscribe my channel, and see you on the next video.